All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back. Second day of August. We made it through July. We made it through June. We're on the back half of MLB season. What does August mean? It means last night was Thursday. It means we kicked off the NFL preseason there, despite the rain out, the weather, cancellation there. But going forward, we now have football every single Thursday leading up into January. It's going to be an incredible season over here at the Nation. And if you are not a member yet, use that promo code NFL50. The time is now. Don't wait any longer. $2.99 for the year. Get you access to all of our NFL packages for the entire season. Like I said, NFL season right around the corner. Best ball in full swing. Our guys Marley and Title have you covered there. Actually, Marley and Hebrew Cheetah, our boy, did a show right here on this channel today, covering best ball streets there. But you see it there, $2.99 covers the entire NFL package, and you see it at the bottom, college football included, $200 plus value across the industry for college football, no additional rate for us. Not to mention the Shiptimizer is included in your NFL only package, $299. Pay less for content, play more in DFS contest. You make your own decisions there, but you see the other rates across the industry. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You guys can do what you want, but $299, significantly cheaper than anywhere else you're going to find across the industry. Multiple Millie Maker winners last year. We're getting on hot over here. Hoop's starting to heat up, and you know what that means. When hoop heats up, NFL season's right around the corner. It's going to be a great year over here at SHIPIT Nation for NFL season. That's what I'm going to spiel on that. Hamwich, happy Friday, brother. Had to do that promo off the top here for you, man. How's your week been? What's going on, brother?
Yeah, no, happy Friday. Looking forward to talking some ball with you. It should be a good game or a good slate. I think it's going to be a lot of bats tonight. This pitching is kind of brutal. We talked a lot about that. And yeah, tonight, it's actually tonight, Nades. It's they're doing that show at 9 p.m. tonight Central Time. I'm not going to be on the show, but I'm going to be in their draft. Rio, I know BJ's getting in the draft. So if you have a best ball account or want a best ball account, yeah, come on over to Drafters. Enter that promo code SHIPIT. 9 o'clock Central tonight. I'd love to have you in that draft. There's going to be, I know, 4 of us and many more as well. So it can hold up to 12. So hopefully you can hop on over there. Go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of money to be made in NFL, obviously in daily fantasy, but not to mention the best ball. Best thing about that is it's season-long DFS. You draft your team. You don't have to worry about it. It picks your best score. Obviously, we partner with Drafters over here at SHIPIT Nation. Title has won the Flagstone tournament on Drafters. Not last season, the season before that for 250 stacks. He's looking to run his and get another crown on top of his head over there at Drafters. Let's see if somebody out here or another member at the Nation can take him down in that big. I think it's a $15 entry there, maybe $20 contest now for their main tournament. They got a cheaper one as well there, but use that promo code SHIPIT. Get you 100% deposit bonus up to $100. You throw in $100 if you're a new member. You get a free $100 on top of that. You got $200 to work with. Run some drafts there, get in there, and hey, who knows? Maybe you win $200,000 plus there over at Drafters. So definitely check those guys out. But this is an MLB show. It's Friday night. There's 11 games on tap, and you alluded to it. Pitching is absolutely atrocious here. We're going to do our best to break it down for you. Say hi to a couple people in the chat. Keith Vape, a.k.a. Telga, always in here. Jake Swales, always in here. Rance, Sean V, our guy Sean, always in here as well. Michael W., Kingland, Parabay, everybody in here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. We bring you these shows each and every single day for free. No premium shows behind the paywall. We're for the people over here at the Nation. But how much? Let's jump in. Let's talk pitching. We're going to go 8K and above. There's a lot of names 8K and above. I'm going to throw out a couple of names, 3 in particular that are kind of soaking up all of the ownership. Obviously, pitching is very gross on this slate. I think it's personally a spend-up pitcher slate. There is a couple guys below 8K you can play. Realistically, the pitching slate for me looks like Joe Ryan, looks like Schwallenbach, and it looks like Kikuchi, the new look Kikuchi, who, hey, got a better team, got a better offense behind him. He's pitching, making his start for Houston tonight against this atrocious Tampa Bay Rays team who traded a bunch of their guys away, obviously at the deadline. Randy Arozarena, no longer there, things like that. So hit on those 3. Those 3 are soaking up pretty much all of the ownership at the top tier. Another guy I want to throw out to you is Tyler Phillips, very young guy here. I think he's got 25 innings or something under his belt so far in his career. Has looked merely unhittable in those 25 innings there that he's pitched so far or so in the majors, coming off a complete game shutout. He's just 8,400 direct pivot right off of Kikuchi for $200 cheaper. And $400 cheaper than Schwallenbach, both going to have much more ownership, in my opinion, than Tyler Phillips. Gets a good ballpark out there in Seattle, good strikeout matchup. So those are 4 guys that I'm interested in. Again, on this slate, I'm not really worried about ownership too much from the pitching standpoint. I'm going to play the best plays at pitcher and kind of differentiate a little bit in my stacks and in some of the offenses and ways to stack it up, because I'm seeing about 8 to 10 teams all getting very, very similar ownership in terms of offense. So I think offense is pretty spread. That's why I'm more worried about where I go at offense versus the pitcher, because I don't want to mess with too many of these arms tonight on the slate.
Yeah, you talked a lot about it, a lot of good stuff. Yeah, let's just start at the top. I see the chat's already buzzing with some Joe Ryan. My guy, Sean V. Where you been, Sean V? We've been missing you, man. But, hey, welcome back this Friday. Sean V's not trusting this Joe Ryan chalk, but Nades, I think Joe Ryan, I think we agree on this, is that he's clear SP1. He's also clearly going to have a majority of the chalk tonight. And when you look up and down this White Sox lineup and what's left of it, you see a glaring strikeout percentage on the road versus right-hand pitching to the tune of 28%, which is, I think it's the worst on the slate, if I'm not mistaken. You got 7, 8, 9 in the projected lineup, all have a 35 or 34+ percentage strikeout rate. Robert has a 38+ percentage strikeout rate. I mean, Joe Ryan has been electric for most of the season. He's clear SP1 for me tonight, and rightfully so. I will be eating that chalk. So give me some Joe Ryan, number 1. I do like Spencer Schwellenbach tonight against, what's left of this Marlins team as well. I know they don't strike out a whole ton on the road versus righties, but hey, they got a lot of their, quote unquote, better hitters are gone. Schwellenbach, now I don't expect he's going to go out and get a 40 burger like he did last time, but he's also gotten 20, he's gotten 20 twice in 2 of his last 4 starts, including that 40-point game at home. He's going to have run support tonight. So I like Spencer Schwellenbach as well. And then I was giving you a hard time about Kikuchi earlier, but man, looking at that Rays lineup, looking at, Kikuchi in those new digs, in that new ballpark, that Rays K rate versus lefties on the road, pretty glaring. So yeah, I would like him up there in that range. 2 other names that I want to mention that maybe won't get a lot of play is going to be Tyler Anderson, of all people. $9,400 is kind of pricey over on FanDuel. But if you look over on DK, I think that price is a very fair price over on DraftKings, much more in line with what we want to pay for a Tyler Anderson at $8,000. Really like that price. And then the last one I'll throw out, then I'll pass it back over to you, is going to be Andrew Abbott. And Andrew Abbott, not a great pitcher by any stretch of the imagination, but when I look at this Giants team and what they've done over the last 14 and 30 days against left-handed pitching, they're striking out 32% against lefties. And one of their lower strikeout guys that's lumped in there is Jorge Soler, 21%. He's actually gone. So that number would actually even shoot up higher than that. That's just taking their whole team cumulatively. So I like Andrew Abbott and his upside tonight. I'll stop there and I'll let you talk about Phillips because I don't have any interest in Phillips. I think he's a great pitcher, but hey, going on the road against the Mariners, I'll let you take him.
Yeah, so we differ there for sure. I'm going to start with Joe Ryan. I'm not afraid. The only slight concern is it's hot and humid. They're in Minnesota with about 6 to 8 mile an hour winds blowing out kind of the right center field. The only issue is there to hit a home run, you got to put the barrel on the ball, and the White Sox struggle with that. They've quit before August, as you said. We're 2 days into August now. They're ready to get the golf clubs out and go enjoy their holiday or their break here. Come over the winter. So they're not looking to play baseball here. I mean, you got Nicky Lopez batting leadoff. You got freaking Miguel Vargas in there who couldn't hit his way out of a wet paper bag for the Dodgers. Or Dominic Fletcher, right? Brooks Baldwin. I mean, Joe Ryan's on the hill. I think he's licking his chops here on this Friday night. He's having himself a nice little White Sox steak dinner here tonight, I think. So give me some Joe Ryan, 9,700. I don't care what his ownership is. This upside is immense. You alluded to it, right? 28% strikeout rate for this team and an ISO of 106. That's not very good, right, as a team there. So despite the power, I mean, if he can navigate Luis Robert, which if you're a smart veteran pitcher and you see who's surrounded him in this lineup, I don't think you're going to throw a fastball over the heart of the plate to Luis Robert and you let anybody else on the team beat you. Love him, love the matchup, love the upside. No, that's not a hot take by any means, but it's just another way to say I'm fine eating the chalk with Joe Ryan. Love the matchup. Love everything about it there. I love the Twins offense. He should have run support behind him as well. So Joe Ryan, my SP1 on the slate. Let's jump down to Schwellenbach. I really love Schwellenbach here as well, just much like everybody else is going to. But the Marlins traded away their best players at the deadline, right? Jazz Chisholm's on. Obviously, the Yankees, we're going to talk about that when we get to the bats. That lineup is very, very scary, right? Money can buy you championships. At least that's what these teams are trying now in this MLB season. We've attacked this Marlins team all year with Jazz in the lineup, with Brian De La Cruz in the lineup, who are no longer there. Overall, this lineup doesn't have a huge strikeout number so far from what I'm seeing in this projected lineup on the road this season. But Schwellenbach's been almost unhittable at home. I mean, he's looked great at home. He's had a 28% strikeout rate over the course of the season at home, pitching in Truist Park. I love the Braves bats as well. Another guy should have run support behind him. He should be a little bit lower owned than Kikuchi as well. So I do like Schwellenbach. You alluded to it, Kikuchi. Again, should have run support behind. Shane Baz on the other side, I think, is a okay pitcher. We'll talk on him when we get down to the lower tier. But this Raves team is just abysmal on the road this season. Over the course of the season, 27% strikeout rate on the road against left-handed pitching. It's even worse over the last month, the last 30 days. Kikuchi, I won't be surprised to see Kikuchi strike out 8 or 9 of these Rays here tonight. Gets a fresh start. Gets a new look team, right? It's a contender there in the Astros. A little bit different scenery than being up there in Canada pitching for the Blue Jays there. So I do like Kikuchi a ton. I'm fine with those 3 guys as my spend ups in terms of the chalk. Not really worried about that. And then I do have a lot more interest in Tyler Phillips than you do. This kid, like I said, has looked absolutely electric. He's got a 27% strikeout rate on the road. He goes long in the games. He's got a pitch count leash. And this Mariners team, despite the additions of Robles this year and Randy Arozarena at the trade deadline there, they still have a 28% strikeout rate at home. It is a great pitcher's ballpark there in Seattle. They have been hitting the baseball as of late. So I do think that scares some of these people off of Phillips, and that's enough for me to put Phillips in the pool. So those are the only 4 I have interest in up at the top tier. I'm not going to mess with Blake Snell in Great American Small Park there, in good hitting weather there. So overall,
it's Harrison, and not we have Snell for some reason, but it should be Harrison.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I think
we have Snell in our ship to Miser.
Yeah, I think Harrison. I think that was late, right? Snell was supposed to start, and I think now it's Kyle Harrison, right? If that's
what I'm seeing everywhere else in DraftKings and FanDuel.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. It was originally supposed to be Blake Snell, so yeah, it is Kyle Harrison. But it's really all those 4 pitchers for me at the top tier. I have no interest in Tyler Anderson. We differ there a little bit. Not going to mess with Brian Wu, any of these other guys. So it's just those 4 guys at the top tier. I'd be fine just limited in that, but there is going to be lineups, so you need to jump below 8K here. When we talk bats, there's a lot of good offenses that are expensive. Going to throw in a couple names below 8K for you. Number 1, Gavin Stone, I think, picks up some ownership here. This A's team has cooled off over the last week or so, week and a half. Before that, they were obviously on fire, hitting bombs left and right. This park should contain their power a little bit, right? It is obviously a good pitcher's ballpark there out in Oakland. Not great hitting weather there as well, like it is across the kind of Midwest and East Coast, being out west there in Oakland. So touch on Gavin Stone. Not a great pitcher that we've been playing too much, but again, this offense or this A's offense has a lot of strikeouts in it there. So touch on Gavin Stone. Shane Baz as well. Low strikeout matchup against Houston. I don't have interest in any Shane Baz, however you pronounce his last name personally, but I know the chat's talking about him. I know there's some rumblings across the industry that are going to be mentioning him. And then Randy Vasquez, just due to strictly matchup. He's not a good pitcher, but he's $6,100. I think he gets some ownership as an SP2, allows you to do whatever you want from bats perspective. And this Rockies team just strikes out a ton, right? They're outside of Coors Field here. It's a more favorable pitcher's ballpark there in San Diego. So prefer my SP2 as if I'm just punting is going to be Randy Vasquez, as crazy as that sounds. Gavin Stone, I think, is fine. But realistically, if I'm going below 8K, I just want to go all the way down and just save the salary because it won't be so crazy for me to see Vasquez outscore Gavin Stone here at $1,500 cheaper personally.
Yeah, I'm all in a tizzy now, Nades, because Snell is on the what they just released. So I do have interest in Snell if he goes there. We don't have to go back there if you don't want to, but interesting that he's pitching and not Harrison. I saw Harrison all day, and then Snell comes up. So anyway, down here in this lower tier, I mean, you said it best. Randy Vasquez, I think, is going to pick up a ton of ownership down here just because everything you alluded to, $6,100. You want to play some of those big bats, some of the Orioles, some of the Twins, some of the Yankees, something like that. You're going to need a cheap guy. Randy Vasquez fits that mold for me. Not much else down here that I'm going to go to. Gavin Stone, how dare you talk bad about those Oakland Athletics like that? Those mashers. One name that I will mention that I have some interest in is going to be Paul Blackburn, new look New York Mets. He's in a familiar park, taking on these Angels in LA, who outside of, I think it was Monday night, they just kind of got run down by that Rockies pitching staff. That's not very good. I think Paul Blackburn can limit the damage there. I think Paul Blackburn's in play as an SP2. And then Vasquez would be kind of the only ones that I would consider below 8K on DK.
Yeah, and just to confirm, it was right. It was Kyle Harrison. It is Blake Snell. Blake Snell is starting there. Still at his salary, $9K in Great American Small Park. I don't have a lot of interest in Blake Snell. I mean, on the road this season, he's 21% strikeout rate. These Reds just don't strike out. It's good weather there. I just can't do it. I like guys cheaper than him. I'm fine if you get there. Blake Snell historically is obviously a good pitcher there, but I can't do it. So I'm out on Blake Snell. I don't know if you want to hit on him anymore, but Blake Snell, not for me.
I think I'm in on Blake Snell. They don't strike out a whole ton at home, but over the last 30 days, it's gotten a lot worse. So I'd love to see what they've done in the last 30 days at home. But 29% strikeout rate versus lefties at home. 203 batting average. It's not much better in a 14-day sample as well. We're talking, 100 and 200 ABs there. So, yeah, I have interest in Blake Snell. I don't know if it was his last time out or not, but, coming off of a 12K performance, give me some Blake Snell to slice and dice this Reds team. Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, he last game he had actually 15 strikeouts back on the 27th there. So, yeah. Obviously, he looked good there. Before that, he had 4 and 8. So Blake Snell has been good in his 3 starts so far this season. But I just like other guys cheaper, and I hope Blake Snell takes ownership, which I do think he is going to, away from guys like Schwellenbach, Kikuchi, and Tyler Phillips, who personally I like more. Those 3 guys for the salary savings there. I do like Paul Blackburn. I like that you brought that up. I think that's a direct pivot right there off of Gavin Stone as well. Paul Blackburn, I've played a lot when he was out in Oakland there. Again, not really afraid of this Angels lineup. I mean, outside of Logan O'Hoppe, who decides to hit a home run, I think, every night so far right now. The dude just automatic, chalked up for at least 14 DraftKings points, it feels like at this point. He's still got a nice price point there and maybe a Taylor Ward. I don't think that's the craziest play, but like I said, if I'm punting down below 8K, I like those 4 guys at the top so much. I think you could obviously even throw in Blake Snell there, 4 or 5 guys above 8K. that I'd rather just jump all the way down to Randy Vasquez in the matchup against the Rockies and just hope he gets you 12 to 15, picks up some strikeouts there against that woeful offense, and saves you $1,500 to $1,600 more in salary is kind of where I'm going. So that's pitching. Pitching's very gross on the slate overall. That's why you see very condensed ownership here. Right now, it's going to be Snell, it's going to be Joe Ryan, it's going to be Schwellenbach, Kikuchi, and Tyler Phillips are kind of the guys that are going to get ownership. Gavin Stone maybe a little bit, and maybe some Randy Vasquez. Outside of that, you play any other pitcher, it's going to be low owned. But like I said, I like the chalk here tonight. So, Hamich, I'll throw it over to you. Go ahead and give the chat your top 5 pitchers.
Yeah, I would agree with you. In your I think you made the statement that you're not going to need to get down there tonight, in my opinion. We got some really good guys. I'm going to go Joe Ryan. It's going to be number 1 for me. I'm going to go Schwellenbach 2. I'm going to go Kikuchi a close 2, so he'll be my number 3. I'm going to go Andrew Abbott. I like Andrew Abbott 4, and let's see, number 5 for me. The way that this Mets team's been hitting the ball against lefties, I'm going to go Tyler Anderson. He's trending up. Mets are trending down versus lefties. So give me some Tyler Anderson tonight. Nobody's playing him on FanDuel. That's a great play on FanDuel over there, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. He's definitely going to be low owned. So, I'm going Joe Ryan number 1 for me. I'll put Schwellenbach number 2, Kikuchi 3, Phillips 4, and then my 5th would be just punting all the way down to Randy Vasquez. I have some interest there in Randy Vasquez, just strictly due to the matchup. It allows you to spend up at bats as well. Before we jump into game by game, actually, let's go game by game. I'll talk about the weather as it comes up because there is quite a few games here. 3 games, right, that do have weather implications. And we're going to start with one here. This first game is personally a game that I have a lot of interest in terms of bats. As long as the weather stays true, I think this is the game where I like the bats more than the pitching anyways. I'm not really worried about the weather as much when I'm stacking a team versus playing a pitcher, right? Because you obviously don't want the in-game delay. Your pitcher goes out there, in-game delay, and there's some they're not going to come back out after a lengthy rain delay when they already started the game. So we're going to talk about Toronto. We're going to talk about the Yankees here. Gausman on the hill, Marcus Stroman on the hill. I have a ton of interest in this Yankees offense. I think they fly somewhat under the radar. And with this new additions of Jazz Chisholm in there, this team is very scary at home this season. They got a 266 ISO against right-handed pitching. They don't strike out, which historically has been an issue for this Yankees team. Gausman is kind of declining overall, especially against righties. Over the last month, his numbers against righties are pretty scary with some extra power there. I like these Yankees a ton. If this game plays, like I said, I think they go under owned, and I think 1 through 9 firmly in play. I really like that 2, 3, 4, 5, and then find your 5th, right? Whether it's Jazz, whether it's someone down at the bottom, wrap it around. But Yankees, one of my favorite offenses on the board. Blue Jays, I think you got some one-offs, right? A Vlad, a Spencer Horwitz, or a mini stack there, but not realistically an offense that I want to stack here tonight on this 11 game. But I am firmly, obviously, on the Yankees here tonight.
Yeah, those Yankees look good tonight. Obviously, the big boppers, and you got Jazz. I know Jazz hasn't played in New York yet as a member of the Yankee, but man, he's smashing the cover off the baseball in those pinstripes. I think he's batting what tonight? 6 nades. Love that. Love that he's dual eligibility on position eligibility on FanDuel. I don't mind going there. You mentioned it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't mind going there. And who's batting in the 8th spot? I liked him, whoever that was. It was Ben Rice. Ben Rice batting down there in 8 looks pretty good as well in a limited sample. But yeah, up and down that lineup, they should get to Gausman, who's only striking out 23%, give or take, to both sides of the plate, which is like you mentioned, way down from where he's been over the course of his career. And then you mentioned the 2 Blue Jays, only one-offs for me as well. Good call on those 2, Vlad and Spencer Horwitz.
Yeah, I just want to hit on this real quick, Aaron. When I say under the radar, there's 10 teams on the slate, all projected within 2% ownership in terms of stack. They're one of 10 teams, I guess, that are all going to be pretty much in the same bucket. So I'm just saying they're one of my favorite offenses, and ownership doesn't really matter. So I did want to allude to that there. I see you kind of questioning a bunch of the takes there, which is fine, right? I'm just telling you where I'm at and where my gut is. I like the Yankees regardless if they were the chalk of the slate or not. Like I said, I don't think Gosman's the same pitcher he has been in years past, and I think these Yankees smash the ball over the fence here tonight. So I love the Yankees 1 through 9. Really like that heart middle of the order there. So I really like those guys a lot. And then, already hit on the Blue Jays. So, Yankees, one of my favorite stacks. I do want to bring up the weather report just because, obviously, this is the game with the most weather risk. It's orange-yellow right now. Roth has it at and saying we could see a postpone here. He puts that as kind of an outside chance there. It's more like in-game delay or a late start and then play kind of thing. So definitely monitor that. It's the first game on the slate. We should get the early delay, which would definitely make me feel better about that. But definitely keep an eye on that if you're playing that game, which I definitely will be.
My guy Aaron, man. My guy Aaron always sending me these head-to-heads, Nades. I can't beat him. Hey, Aaron, when you send me the head-to-head tonight, I'm playing Blake Snell, so you better get ready. He's going to slice and dice you up tonight. I plan on getting in the winner's circle tonight.
Fair enough. Go from one game that I have a ton of interest in offense to probably my favorite stack of the board here. Is these Baltimore Orioles heading into Cleveland to face our boy Cookie Carrasco, right? There was a time where I said every time we come on the show, I don't care who it is, if it's Hamwich's freaking minions going up against Cookie Carrasco, you stack them up. He bit me in the rear end a couple times there, but he's back to his old ways here. I absolutely love these O's who are absolutely ripping the cover off the baseball. I love all these lefties a ton against Cookie. These righties a ton. This is my favorite offense on the board. They are expensive, but there's a cheap enough secondary stacks. And if you so pleased to leave Joe Ryan off and go two of those 8K guys like a Kikuchi and a Tyler Phillips or a Phillips Schwellenbach, something like that, or throw in Hamwich's boy Tyler Anderson, who's not for me. It does allow you to stack up this team a little bit better. But love Cowser, love Santander, Gunnar, Ryan O'Hearn, love all these lefties a ton. Adley's probably my least favorite one at 5,600, but that means he'll probably hit 2 home runs here tonight because I probably won't have any Adley. Love the rest of these guys. Jackson Holiday starting to hit the baseball. Obviously, his first major league hit there, I believe, or major league home run was a grand slam there. He's 3,200, makes it a little bit more affordable, wrap it around to the top. I love these Orioles a ton. And then no Guardians really for me against Dean Kramer. I think he's a good enough arm. I think he can navigate this offense a good amount. I mean, Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, I think you can play on any slate, but not a spot where I'm getting tonight.
Yeah, man, these O's, like, obviously I love the O's, but, can they get to Cookie in the first, first, second, or third inning, because you just can't hit this Guardians bullpen. I mean, they're just the best in the bigs. And so that concerns me a little bit, right, with their prices. But this Orioles offense is very potent. They got, guys that can hit bombs left and right. So, and Cookie Carrasco's bad. Just hoping they can get to him early in, the first, 3 or 4 innings. But yeah, Orioles offense, good. Guardians offense, good as well. But they are facing Dean Kramer. Haven't seen a confirmed lineup for the Guardians yet, but more than likely it would be one-offs only when you're going to the Guardians. But yeah, I'm with you as it relates to these Orioles. Great play tonight against Cookie and company.
Yeah, I did want to allude to it. I love me some Hellman's Mayo on my submarine sandwiches, my sub sandwiches there, but maybe I'll be testing out a new mayo brand here, Kobe Mayo tonight, right? Our guy Parabay digging up the minor league stats there. 20 bombs in 75 plate appearances in the minors. Hey, I mean, I'd say Cookie Carrasco is pretty equivalent at this point of his career to a minor league pitcher. So at Stone 2K, I don't care if he's batting 8th. I'm not really I don't care. At $2,000, I mean, 0 is probably more likely outcome, but hey, $2,000, what it allows you to do, that's the difference of punting an SP 2 on the slate and getting another quality arm, I think there. So Parabay, appreciate you bringing that up, but yeah, love the O's, and then already hit on the Guardians here. Let's jump to the next team here, or next game. Great American Small Park, Abbott on the hill, Blake Snell on the hill. I have no interest in any of these Reds personally against Blake Snell. I just didn't like Snell's price point overall compared to the other guys around his range. I think he's a solid option if you want to go there. Personally, I'm not going to get there, but I do like me some of these Giants. I prefer the Giants more as a mini stack. I love me some Fitzgerald, love me some Healy at Ramos. My boy's not in the lineup that I wanted in there, so that hurts me a little bit there. I wanted to see some Derek Hill in the lineup there, but historic, obviously lefty masher there, good guy, and he was cheap. He's not in the lineup. I like these Giants. I like them more as a mini stack, mainly at the top, the Healy at Ramos and the Fitzgerald, who is on fire right now. So for me, it's the Giants just as a mini stack. Not a full 5-man for me, I don't think, but throw it over to you. Any interest in these Giants?
I'm surprised you didn't say Mark Cannon. Guy can't get it out of the infield. He should strike out a couple times for the Giants tonight. So, yeah, Abbott, slice and dice. That's the word of the day. Snell, slice and dice. One play that I really love. My favorite red all the way down in the 9-hole. If you need a salary saver, Santiago Espinal. Really like him down there. Dirt cheap. Give me some Espinal tonight in the 9-hole as a one-off. And then other than that, it's going to be slicing and dicing season for these pitchers.
I'll raise you a Mayo for an Espinal. I don't know what the hell an Espinal is. I know what Mayo is, so I'll raise you $2,000 stone dollars for Kobe Mayo outscores your boy Santiago Espinal against Mr. Blake Snell there. So I'll give you $900 on the table and tell you that Mayo is going to outscore. You can throw some extra Mayo on your sub tomorrow from Jersey Mike's or wherever you want to go there. And I see my guy TB 500K, Trevor Bryan in the chat. Good to see you in here, man. I don't know. I've never heard of Duke's Mayo, so I don't know where that is. Maybe it's somewhere.
Mayo? Where you been, man?
I don't know.
Mayo Bowl? Come on now, Nate. Get out of Wisconsin, bro. Live a little.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to order some on Amazon or something and test it out there. But TB 500K there shipped to last season, right? Trevor Bryan, $500,000 or whatnot in Showdown there. So congratulations again on that. Maybe I'll have to get on. Maybe that's the secret to shipping $500,000, right? Get on the Duke's Mayo train there. So good to see you, man. Appreciate that. But yeah.
What about Patrick Bailey? Andrew wants to know about Patrick Bailey.
I mean,
and then my guy.
I mean, not for me. I like other catchers more at the same. I like Austin Wells a million times more at 3,900 if that game plays than Patrick Bailey. I mean, the only guys I would consider for the Giants really are Fitzgerald, Healy at Ramos, and Matt Chapman. That's the mini stack right there. 1, 3, 4. Those are the guys I like. I don't really like. I mean, maybe a Casey Schmidt, right? Because he's second base shortstop eligible at 2,700. He's been playing decent as of late, and he's another value. So, I mean, if you want to, those would be the guys. I'm not really getting to any of the other guys. Really, Healy at Ramos is by far my favorite bat in this game. And then, yeah, no Reds against Blake Snell for me. Let's jump to another game where I have a lot of interest in one of these sides for offense. This slate is offense heavy for me early on for the most part. And definitely going to be one of these teams on this in this game. It's not going to be these fish out of the water here against Schwellenbach, who's one of my favorite pitchers on the slate. I am back on the Braves bandwagon here, who have had a kind of underwhelming season for the most part, right? Obviously on the back of the injuries with Albies, the injuries with Acuna there, and then obviously for a while there, Matt Olson and Austin Riley weren't hitting, but they're starting to come around here. They got a bad guy and a bad bullpen, right? The Marlins traded away a lot of those guys too here. I love these Braves, this Brave offense overall here tonight. Austin Riley, newly addition Jorge Soler there. Braves one of my favorite offenses on the board. I'll throw it over to you, Hamwich. Are the Braves one of your favorite offenses? They're implied to score over 6 runs here tonight against this Marlins pitching staff.
Yeah, I wore my Brave shirt just for this occasion. It's going to be bombs away down there in the ATL with Riley, with Olson. If Travis D'Arnaud's in the lineup, I hope he is. I like D'Arnaud. If I don't know who's catching tonight, Ozuna. The list goes on and on. I think it's a short outing tonight for this Marlins pitcher. And then no Marlins for me, not even Sean V's boy, Jake Berger. Berger's about to get an O for Berger against Schwellenbach. This is going to get ugly for the fish out of water.
So that lineup is out. It's Soler, Austin Riley, Ozuna, Olsen, Arcia. Arcia batting fifth, which is nice. I like that a lot. Rosario, Sean Murphy, who I like at catcher. Kellenic is back down to the 8th spot, and then Whit Merrifield to round it out there. So pretty much their standard lineup that we've been seeing as of late there. So that lineup is out. I love these Braves here tonight. I think they smashed the baseball out there in Truist Park. Want to pull up the weather there in Atlanta because I know it's hot and humid here in Wisconsin. Expect much of the same there. It's 90 degrees with wind kind of blowing across the field. So it's going to be hot. The baseball is going to be flying. These fish out of the water are going to get fried up. It is a Friday night. We like fish fries here on Friday night up in Wisconsin. I hope they like them down there in Atlanta as well because I see some fish getting fried up here tonight. Next game on the slate, we got the Texas Rangers and the Boston Red Sox coming to town. Jose Arena on the mound, which hashtag not good in terms of starting pitcher. I just don't like this Red Sox team a ton. I mean, Rafael Devers, right? Fine, sure. Tyler O'Neill, Jarren Duran. But outside of that, I mean, I like a team more at a similar price and a similar salary that we're going to talk about later. So for me, I put them ahead of the Red Sox. The Red Sox, I think, are fine. I probably don't get to any Red Sox stacks here tonight. I don't think they're the craziest play. I just like other teams more. That lineup is confirmed there. Maybe you're different than I am. And then on the Rangers, Corey Seager, Josh Young, one-offs, maybe a mini stack, but really Corey Seager or pass for me on the Rangers. So overall, a game that I don't have a ton of interest in terms of bats. I think both sides are fine. Red Sox side would be preferred, but both teams, I'm not going to get full 5-man stacks from either side.
Well, I'm interested to hear who your comparison is to these both Sox because Jose Urena, man, takes me back to my Colorado Rockies days when he was pitching out there in the Mile High City. These Rockies are going to go absolutely nuclear tonight, especially the lefties. Give me some Wilyer Abreu in the 6th hole. Love Wilyer Abreu tonight batting down there. No one's playing him. Rafael Devers, you said it. I mean, Jarren Duran, who MVP Jarren Duran going back home to where he won his All-Star MVP. And then Nick Sogard, like that guy used to be in the MLB a long time ago, if that's the same guy that I'm thinking about. And then I love the Red Sox tonight. One of my favorite stacks. What kind of ownership are they going to have tonight, Nades?
I mean, like I said, there's 10 to 12 teams that are all very similar. I mean, outside of a Minnesota who's not even super chalky and a Dodgers who aren't even super chalky, I mean, there's not one team on the slate that I'm seeing like above 8% in terms of stack ownership when you combined everything overall, which is not usually what you see, right? You usually see one or two offenses that are 12 to 15%, and then it drops off drastically. I mean, this slate, there's 10 to 12 offenses that are all going to be within, I mean, a couple percentage points of each other. So realistically, ownership in terms of bats don't matter too much.
Yeah. And Sean, I did say coming back home to where he won his All-Star MVP is what I meant. Yeah. Anyway, and then Corey Seager on the other side, he's popping off the page over here at SHIPIT Nation. You don't need me to tell you that Corey Seager is a great play tonight, but he's a tremendous one-off tonight against Cutter Crawford. Don't mind that at all. But yeah, these Red Sox love the lefties. I think it's bombs away. Give me some Wilyer Abreu as well.
Yeah, no, excellent. I think the Red Sox are fine. I just like we're going to get to another team later on in the evening. The last game on the slate that is very similar in terms of stack pricing, and I just like a lot better against the worst pitching staff overall. So you choose Boston, I choose them later. We'll talk on them, but don't fault you. I just like playing the Red Sox a lot more in Fenway than out here in Texas personally. Next game on the slate here, let me go back to my sheet, is a good one. Quote unquote, if you want to say it, right? The chalk of the slate, the Minnesota Twins here, Joe Ryan, kind of the chalk, just the chalk team, right? Pitching and hitting, but realistically chalk outside of pitching isn't really chalk. And like always, right? Chalk and baseball don't matter too much, maybe outside of like a small slate, Coors Field or something like that. But the Twins, very good spot here against Davis Martin. Some guy named Davis Martin thrusted into the starting rotation when Mr. Fetty Wap got shipped out of town there. So one of the worst bullpens in baseball, a guy by the name of Davis Martin thrusted into the starting role against a team who everyone in this lineup, all 9 hitters have over a 28% fly ball rate against a fly ball pitcher who has very, very low strikeout stuff and a terrible bullpen behind him. It is also good hitting weather there in Minnesota. All things are pointing to Minnesota Twins here, 86 degrees, wind blowing out to right center field at 8 miles an hour. Love Minnesota here. It is a scary offense to stack up. But again, fly ball guys against a very weak pitching staff. I mean, what not to love about the Twins here? Royce Lewis, Buxton, Larnach. The only issue I will say, and I do want to make it a point for the chat, the White Sox do have 3 lefties in the bullpen. When this guy, Mr. Davis Martin, gets Martin right out of town, you're probably going to see a lefty coming out of that pen, and you know what happens then. The Twins love to pinch hit, so I would focus on the switch hitters and the right-handed hitters first. Obviously, if you get 1 or 2 lefties in there, I would prefer only one of them because obviously you don't want 1 or 2 guys getting pinch hit for. If the game's 8-0 or something, there's obviously less likelihood that they mess around and pinch hit too much. But if the game's super close or 3, 4, 5-run game, something like that, there is some pinch hit concern here with this Twins offense. I did want to make that a point. But how much are you going to the Twins? Are you riding them here tonight? And then I'm pretty safe to say no White Sox for you. I have no interest in them, but break it down.
Yeah, I mean, it would be you said it at the opening of the show. I mean, it would be a Robert Jr. only one-off for me. On the White Sox side, I mean, Miguel Vargas, who in the world is that? Brooks Baldwin, no thank you. This lineup is obviously putrid. Joe Ryan's about to mow them down. And then, yeah, it's going to be it's not Sweet 16. It's going to be Sweet 18 tonight. 18 straight losses for the White Sox after tonight. Ryan mows them down, and I think this Twins team puts up a crooked number, 8+ runs. I think you're going to need them tonight. I think they'll be in the winner, Nades. I think Ryan and the Twins will be in the winner. They got those golf clubs already. They got their Cancun trip planned for early October. They're ready to hit the road. Give me these Twins to bombard the White Sox tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I love this offense. They're 1A, 1B between them and Baltimore for me. If you go over to SHIPIT Nation, you read the slate plan. Number 1 stack I got listed as the Twins. Number 2 as Baltimore. I could have put 1A, 1B, and then went down to a third team there overall. They're cheap. They're easy to stack up. Larnach. I mean, there's a lot of these guys under 4K, right? Wallner, Larnach, Brooks Lee, Vasquez, who's probably my least favorite in this team, but overall love these guys. And you notice they only have 2 true lefties outside their switch hitters in the lineup. So Larnach and Matt Wallner, I think Matt Wallner's the most problematic to get pinch hit for, I would say, but there's a good chance that he might hit a home run in his first at bat. The dude smashes right-handed pitching here, so good chance he gets pinch hit for if the lefty comes in. I think he's more of a chance to get pinch hit for than a Trevor Larnach is, but overall, love this offense. Not much more to say there. They are going to be one of the highest owned offense, but again, ownership doesn't matter too much in terms of bats on the slate. Next game, heading out to Houston, Kikuchi on the hill for the new look Astros, and then Tampa Bay coming to town with this woeful offense. Obviously, they traded away some of their best guys, right? Rosarena. They did get and acquire Christopher Morel, who hit a bomb already for them. Coming over from Chicago there. Not a team that I'm going to on either side. Realistically, I think the Astros would be fine stack against Shane Baz. But I think this is more of a pitcher's duel here. I think he's a fine SP2 at 6,800, but overall, not a game I'm getting too many bats from.
Yeah. 11-game slate. I'm all over Kikuchi. I don't think Baz is a gas can, so I'm going to pass on this game, Nades. But if you wanted a one-off Yordong, obviously wouldn't hate it, but I'm going to pass on bats in this one.
All right, perfect. Sounds like we're aligned there. Let's head to the next game here, a game that I don't think you're going to have much interest in terms of bats. You mentioned both of these starting pitchers here. It's not a great ballpark out there. There's much better hitting weather earlier on in the slate that we already talked about. Then out in Anaheim, not in LA, right? Get corrected on that every time. It's the Anaheim Angels. It should be. But the Mets coming to town. Paul Blackburn making his start there for the Mets. Tyler Anderson on the hill. You mentioned both of these guys. The Mets do have pretty good numbers on the road this season against left-handed pitching. They are scuffling a little bit as of late. that you alluded to. Lindor, I think, is still fine. My boy Mark Vientos just continues to crush the baseball. Every time I mention him, it seems like he hits a home run there. So 4,400, you might be able to chalk that up as a bomb here tonight at the 5 spot. Pete Alonso, sure. Not a game that I'm going to 5-man stack either side. I think the Mets are fine as a mini stack, but realistically, not a game I have much interest in terms of bats or stacks overall.
Yeah, I feel like Mark Vientos is playing like, I don't even know who to say, Mike Schmidt or somebody over there at third base. I mean, he's just absolutely knocking the cover off the baseball. This Mets team, man, they've just been so bad versus left-handed pitching over the last, 100, 200 plate appearances, 28% strikeout rate. But with that being said, I think Pete Alonso has a really good game. I like Pete Alonso. Not my official home run call of the day, but I think Pete Alonso goes yard tonight. I like him a lot. I like Vientos a lot. Outside of that, though, I'll be passing on these Mets. It'll be a mini and or one-off only for me on the Mets. And then I think both of us have a little bit of interest in Blackburn and this Angels team. No Mike Trout, no whoever. They're not any good. So, yeah, no Angels for me.
I will say Logan O'Hoppe, I think, is a fine catcher, but I like Sean Murphy more. I like Austin Wells more. I like some of those other guys that I already mentioned more. So, like I said, not a game I'm getting to for bats. 3 more games on the slate. This next one I do have interest in terms of bats. I put them against ahead of the Red Sox at a similar price point, just a much worse pitching staff. Austin Gomber making the start here. Randy Vasquez making the start. Vasquez, I think, is a fine SP2 just due to the strictly matchup and the salary, what it allows you to do for your roster construction overall on the slate. No interest in any of these Rockies. I mean, I don't think they're the craziest play. I don't think Randy Vasquez is a great pitcher by any means, but not a team that I want to play on an 11-game slate. I think you could do crazier things, but not for me. I do have a lot of interest in some of these Padres, though. Overall, this lineup just puts the ball in play. There's a terrible bullpen here, a pitcher that just throws strikes, gets hit hard. Profar, Machado, Cronenworth, Xander Bogaerts are kind of my 4 favorite guys, and then just mainly stack around them. Prefer this team more as a stack. I don't really want to pick off one-offs or anything like that. I prefer them more as a 5-man stack. Like I said, I put them ahead of Boston here. Just very easily to stack up. It's a good matchup. Not a great hitter's park, but again, terrible pitching staff. One of the worst bullpens in baseball. Late night hammer here. I could see the Padres posting one of those 8 to 10 run games, late nights, kind of break the slate type performances here.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Love the Padres tonight. Love them in just a real life betting world as well. Love them to beat up on this Rockies team, even if Vasquez struggles, which I don't think he will. But I mean, even if he does, you got one of the best bullpens. I would say fully rested bullpens at that. Didn't play last night. Dylan ceased through on Wednesday night. They got a fully rested team. This Colorado team played extra innings last night, still on the road against Austin Gomber. I think the Padres dismantle this team quite easily tonight. And then, yeah, everything that you said about the Padres offense, I'm in agreement with you there. Bad bullpen, bad pitcher, bombs away in San Diego for this Padres team. It's a blowout tonight in San Diego.
Yeah, we're fully aligned there. And like I said, I think the Red Sox – I hate to keep mentioning ownership, but I do think the Red Sox come in higher owned than the Padres. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats obviously help the Red Sox there, but I just think the Padres are pretty sneaky here tonight, and I like that it's a little late night hammer. Not that it matters too much, but nice little added bonus there. It's a Friday night. We're not going to LA. We're going to Oakland. The Dodgers are in town. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats against a guy by the name of Joey Estes, who's not a good starting pitcher. The only issue I have is this ballpark is atrocious, just like the back half of this Dodgers lineup. Very, very atrocious. Ahmed, Biggio, Rosario, Hayward. I mean, outside of Pages, Tio, Will Smith, and Ohtani, I mean, Gavin Lux, I think, is fine. But, man, Dodgers are going to get some ownership here tonight, just due to who's on the other side of the bump, right, for them, Joey Estes. It's a Shohei Ohtani showtime, Mr. Showtime himself. I don't care what ballpark he's hitting in. I mean, the dude could hit it out of 2 ballparks at the same time, I think. Outside of him, I don't have an interest in these Dodgers. I like other teams a lot more. Much better hitting environments, much better hitting ballparks. They could hurt me. It's one of the best offenses in baseball, but they're pretty weak right now with the injuries they're facing out there. Ohtani or pass for me in this game. And then on the athletic side, I mean, sure, a Rooker, a Langeliers, a Blade, Lawrence Butler, who's having a hell of a last month and a half, but not a game that I'm going to get to for stacks on either side. One-offs or mini stacks on either side I think are fine, but again, not a game that I like too much for offense.
Yeah, I mean Ohtani. I mean his numbers are popping over here at the Nation. So love Ohtani. Great call there. And then I actually have a little bit of interest in these A's. Nate. Normally I'm shitting all over them, but tonight against the Stone Cold Lock, Gavin Stone, I like them. Lawrence Butler's turned into peak Barry Bonds, as you like to say. Blade, Rooker, Langeliers. Langeliers is your boy. I'm surprised you didn't hop all over Langeliers. I like this A's team. Give me this A's team. I'm on the A's tonight. Not on the Dodgers, but do love Ohtani is a great one-off for sure.
Yeah, Ohtani's an excellent one-off for sure, obviously. I think Aaron Judge, I put Aaron Judge ahead of by a sliver here tonight at $100 cheaper. But again, I mean, flip a coin, as Tambo always say, coin.gif in the chat, right? I mean, you ask Judge versus Ohtani, I mean, literally close your eyes, throw a dart at a dartboard, and whatever one it lands on, put in your lineup. I do want to mention this right here, right? Our guy, right, Sean V, talking about backtracking on Mr. Joe Ryan. Come on, Sean V, get on board. You got freaking Mr. Brooks Baldwin freaking batting second with his 37% strikeout rate. I mean, let me just read you this White Sox lineup really quick. Miguel Vargas batting leadoff. There you go. Brooks Baldwin, Luis Robert, okay, the only good hitter on this team. Gavin Sheets, Andrew Vaughn, Benintendi, Lenyon Sosa, Fletcher, Corey Lee. Man, might be tough sledding there for these White Sox in Minnesota. The more I shit on this team, the more they're just going to beat up this chalk Ryan. So I better shut up. But yeah, that lineup is not very good to say the least there. So yeah, excellent spot there for Mr. Joe Ryan. The last game on the slate here, Phillies coming to town, face Brian Wu, Tyler Phillips, who I had a lot of interest in terms of pitching. I just love playing pitchers in this ballpark. The Mariners have a lot of high strikeout bats in there, despite some of their home run power that they do have. I think Tyler Phillips can limit some hard contact there, strike out some of these guys. He has been great in his starts that he's made so far this season. I like the ballpark. No Mariners for me. No Phillies for me. I like other offenses more. This is a game, Phillips or pass for me personally to round out the slate.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't like those Phillies bats against Wu. Wu hasn't gone more than 6 innings all season. I feel like been pretty bad. And we know they could hit bombs. That stadium is kind of not conducive for stacks. But the thing with me on Phillips is he threw over 100 pitches his last time out. Now, granted, it was a complete game shutout against a much better offense, in my opinion, the Guardians. But you throw over 100 pitches against the Guardians, you're on top of the world. There is just no way, as Tambo would say, there's no way the Mariners get to this guy. Hey, it's baseball. Strange things happen. I like it as a contrarian stack. I'm saying if you're doing 20-plus teams, you might have the Mariners stack on 2 of them, but you probably not a single entry or 3 max. But give me some of these Mariners as a low-owned, sneaky stack if you want to get the big boppers in there. I know Polanco left early. I think that was a Red Sox game, so I haven't seen a confirmed lineup. Just monitor that lineup. But it would be the guys that can hit bombs against Phillips. I mean, Phillips is a good pitcher. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to be playing him, and I'll have a team or 2 stacking the Mariners tonight. And then I like the Phillies as well. I mean, super low-owned Phillies. Are you kidding me? I mean, they are expensive, but they got guys that can double dong. So give me some of them against Wu, who has not been good, in my opinion, this season.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is, right, Phillips' first start of the year, right, he only threw 53 pitches, right, which makes sense, right, his major league debut, 53 pitches, then jumped all the way up to 80 pitches against Oakland, went 6 innings, then jumped up to 85 pitches, and then went up to 100 pitches against, hey, mind you, obviously a low strikeout team there in Cleveland. So I will say they're very that does give me more of promise, right? That the Philly staff over there does believe in this kid and definitely trust him to go long, right? He's thrown at least 6 innings in each of his last 3 starts against the A's, against the Pirates, and against Cleveland. One of those obviously on the road there. So obviously first game had a little jitters there against Atlanta, still struck out 7, struck out 5 A's, only struck out 4 Cleveland guys, but again, they're a low strikeout guy. So I do like these the I do like Phillips quite a bit, so we do differ there a little bit. And then, yeah, I mean, the Phillies are fine. They got a lot of power in that lineup. It's just, man, I hate this ballpark, and there's much worse pitchers to talk about in attack than a guy by the name of Brian Wu, who is an okay real-life pitcher overall. So that's all 11 games. We talked pitching. We talked hitting. Sitting at about 55 minutes. Obviously, we went pretty in-depth on the slate. There was a lot to talk about, a lot of good offenses overall. Pretty weak pitching from a stant. And I do want to mention to our guy Toga in the chat here. Problem with fading Ryan. Hey, look, obviously you guys know, many of you have watched the show all year long with me and Ham. I'm no stranger to fading the chalk at pitching. I will say this is one slate where I think Joe Ryan could just dust this entire slate. Out of all these pitchers on the slate, this is a pretty contrarian, pretty unique slate outside the rest of the season, where this is a spot where Joe Ryan could absolutely just post a 40 burger, right, and just be needed on this slate, where we don't see that too often. I just don't see a lot of these pitchers that have the upside potential that Joe Ryan does. Obviously, it's baseball. Anything can happen. That no-name School of the Blind Chicago team out there could, maybe pick up a win and get to him. But, again, I just have a hard time believing any of these other pitchers come close to the ceiling that Joe Ryan has here tonight. No, that's not a crazy take by any means, but it is a spot where I'm much more inclined to just play him than fade the chalk and get different elsewhere. How much Friday night home run calls? You've been good with these. I've been a little cold as of late. I'm going to try and craft something up here for the people, but I'll throw it over to you, man. Who's your home run call or calls of the evening?
Yeah, man, nailed it again on Monday. I don't know if you remember. If the people remember, who was it on Monday, Nate? It was Jaime Candelario. He ended up going yard on Monday. I got 3 tonight. I'm not going to give away 3, but I'm going to give away an easy one. I'm going to give away a 2. I'm going to give away 2 of my 3. One of them wearing the Brave shirt. Give me some Marcelo Zuna. That's a guaranteed bomb. And then I'm going back and forth between 2 Red Sox. I'm going to give you one that's a little higher odds. Give me some Wilyer Abreu batting 6th tonight. He will hit a bomb as well. So Abreu and Ozuna are my 2 official home run calls of the night.
All right. I'll give 2 here as well. One's batting cleanup, right, in the 4 spot from the catcher position. A nice value, sub 4K catcher. Austin Wells is going to take Gosman deep. Hopefully that game plays there in Yankee Stadium. Love me some Austin Wells at 3,900. Hitting 4th. And then I'm going to one of my favorite offenses on the board, the Baltimore Orioles. Bat leadoff, Mr. Colton Cowser, 4,200. 2 relatively cheap bats, both going to bomb here tonight, both in great spots. Love both the offenses a ton. Mark it down, parlay those 4 together, and hey, if they all 4 go, me and Hamwich are clapping hands, and you guys are probably clapping hands as well, because you'll have a nice chunk of change in your pocket. I'm pretty sure that is going to pay pretty good odds there overall. As always, appreciate all the kind words in the chat. Appreciate all your support, all the interaction in the chat. We try and keep these fun, keep these entertaining for y'all. Get in and out of here in less than an hour, give you all the picks. My core is already up on the website. The slate plan's posted. Our projections continue to update for the Shiptimizer. If you are a solver, we got those updated as well over there. Our starting lineups are the Stone, over here. Everything is updated overall. So check it out. If you're not a member yet, again, NFL 50 is the code there. $50 off an annual package. NFL season right around the corner. Obviously, preseason was supposed to kick off last night. Now we have football every Thursday until January. $299 covers the entire NFL season, including the Shiptimizer, our in-house optimizer there, including college football for the entire season. And you get access to the premium side of our website until I believe until the end of August, until football starts as well. So you get MLB content, you get the PGA content, the MMA content, the best ball Discord, everything for no additional cost. That's going to do it, though, for this edition of the Witching Hour. For Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. Good luck tonight in your contest. Hope to see those Shipping Nation logos at the top. Have a good weekend.